Hello,
I'm Karena.
and I'm Jamie.
Welcome to As Told by ADHD. This podcast is the brainchild of two best friends with ADHD who share a passion for learning and a knack for finding the most fascinating tidbits of knowledge.
Each week, we embark on a wild and hilarious journey of discovery as we dive headfirst into topics that pique our curiosity. From dark folklore to bizarre statistics, cultural ceremonies to famous dead people, we're here to entertain, educate, and tickle your funny bone.
This week on As Told by ADHD, we're going into part 2 of revolutionary inventions, and it's Jamie's turn.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. If we haven't met before. If we have met before, hi, welcome back. Oh my God.
Oh my
So
God,
good to
it's
see you.
you.
You're as
Crazy.
beautiful as always. And if you're new,
Stunning.
you're so beautiful. Wow.
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 Wow. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Karena.
I'm Jamie. We already
That's
did
Jamie.
this. Okay.
But still, we're
Here we are.
reintroducing because they're new. Hi.
Okay. We got to get for real. Because I got some juicy history tea for you.
Ooh, you said that so
I-
smooth.
I still hate it. But we're sticking with it. Commit to the bit. History. Okay, let's go. So, I am talking about a revolutionary invention, right? But I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is because this was invented by mistake. And I first want to talk about the person who invented it and like how incredible he was. He was a freaking genius. So
Okay.
I'm going to talk about him a little bit, tell you about his background and how he's so smart. And then I'm going to tell you about how he invented this revolutionary invention that has changed the world as we know it. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Or yay! I don't know which one.
I think it's more of a yay because I
Okay.
personally don't think I could live without this thing.
Oh.
Okay. So, in Howland, Maine, on July 9th, 1894, a little baby boy was born named Percy Spencer, making him a Cancer.
Okay.
He had a mom, as most of us do. He had a dad, also as most of us do.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I'm sorry if you don't. He also
I'll be your
had
dad.
I'll be your dad too. We'll be your dads.
We'll be your dads.
Yeah. He also had a brother. There wasn't a ton on his brother. I don't know if he was older or younger. He's kind of irrelevant to this story. But
He was there.
so his father ended up passing away when he was a toddler, unfortunately. So in this time period, in the late 1800s, it was extremely difficult for women to get a job, especially women that had been married or were married and had children, because women were expected to stay home with the children. And if you were widowed, you would need to go out and work, but the likelihood of you getting a job is extremely low. So unfortunately, she had to pass her children along to family members who were able to provide for them. I don't know where his brother went, but Percy ended up going to live with his aunt and uncle. Also, I do want to state, I did a little research into, women in the workforce of that time period, and roughly about 17% of women did actually have a job in this time period. However, they were most likely within the range of 14 and 24.
Oh, like as a seamstress and stuff?
Yeah. Well, also, you need to think about, they would hire women to cook, they would hire women to clean, they would hire women to do all of those things.
Nanny, raise children. Yeah.
But once you have your own children, you're expected to stay home. So I just thought that was, a important little tidbit to understand, she didn't really have a choice because she couldn't get a job because she had children. So, and tragedy ended up striking again in 1896. His uncle passed away, leaving his aunt to try to support him and her as best as she could. And she was kind of able to for about 5-ish years. So he was 7 when this happened. But once it was 1901, it was impossible for her to provide for both of them alone. So at the age of 12, he dropped out of school because he had to. He became the primary provider for his family at the age of 12, which is wild.
Wow.
Because, child labor laws now would not permit that to happen, but that's crazy.
No.
So he started working in a local spool mill, and I'm not sure what he did there, but he kind of started teaching himself things because he loved to learn, just like us. And he started to teach himself electrical work because it was getting to that point in time where electricity was starting to get big. It was starting to be put in all the buildings. And this would eventually lead him to become an electrician. And he was actually one of the people who installed electricity at his local paper mill.
Wow.
So, and this is all before the age of 18, mind you.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible. No, that's incredible. There are, I feel like I'm dissing on so many people by saying this, but me included. I don't know. I started working when I was 16. It was supposed to be just a seasonal holiday thing over winter break, but it ended up turning into a part-time job because I was doing competitive cheerleading. I played soccer, all this kind of stuff when I was in high school. But I did have a job when I started working when I was 16 years old. And it's hard because you're just not built for that type of labor yet, because you don't really have that determination really to stick with it. It's different than having priorities with school and stuff like that or whatever, because you're with your friends and all of that kind of stuff. When you're at work, it's a completely different environment, especially customer service and stuff like that. I'm ranting, but it does take a certain type of person to take initiative like that. It really does. And then end up finding your passion and having a full-blown career by 18 years old.
Oh, this is before 18.
Before 18 years old? Are you serious? All I did was fold shirts when I was 16. I worked in Aeropostale, okay?
Aeropostale.
That's what it was called. I couldn't say Aeropostale. I just had to say, "Hi, welcome to Aeropostale."
That's crazy.
I did. But
anyway, I think I don't want to discount your stuff, right? I feel like that's also extremely difficult because you were still going to school. This guy had no school life. He did not go to school. He didn't have school friends. He was working. And honestly, I feel like the dropout rate at this time was pretty high. So a lot of kids his age were probably working too.
Yeah, true. But a full-blown career. He was making something for himself and he wasn't even 18 yet. That's crazy.
And something even crazier, he decided to do career change in 1912 at the age of 18. He joined the Navy.
Was that common? Or no?
Well, this is right on the precipice of World War I, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. But guess what he did? He was a radio operator, aka a wireless operator like we talked about in the Titanic episode. Yeah. He was one of those guys sending messages back and forth from ships.
Oh, so he was still able to do stuff that's super technical.
Yeah.
I bet he learned a thing or two.
He did. He learned a lot, actually. And not just about that kind of stuff. Do you want to know what he did while he had his free time on the ship?
What?
He would later become self-taught while in the Navy. He claimed once, later in his life, he claimed that while on night watch in the Navy, he would have textbooks out there with him so he could just study things for fun. You want to know what he studied?
What?
Things like calculus, chemistry, physics, trigonometry, metallurgy. I think that's how you say that, which is like the science of like technologically extracting metals from ore and refining them. So like he's learning all
What
this
the
stuff.
heck?
He's teaching himself all of these things. So like,
What the?
and I couldn't help but think it while I was researching this one, think about Damara from our con artist episode. This guy was everything Damara wanted to be. But
And failed to do so.
He failed to do so. And this guy, he just didn't have the money to do anything he wanted. So that's why it's probably why he joined the Navy. And like, once he got out of the Navy, he was like, okay, I still kind of want to do this. He goes to another company for a little while. But also, he gets out of the Navy 2 years later. I forgot to mention that. He gets out of the Navy 2 years later because he ends up getting medically discharged for a chronic ear disease. Which, like, that's all I could find. I couldn't find, like, if it was, like, ear infections or if it was, like, something specific. But a chronic ear disease is why he was medically discharged. So he ends up working alongside his brother for about 6 to 7 years in this company that was, I think it was called Wireless Specialty Apparatus Company. And they did a bunch of cool things, but that's not part of this story. Right? This is a different story where he accidentally invents something that I know you use every day. I use it every day. Are you just so excited?
What is it? No,
We're gonna
for
get there.
real.
Okay.
Well,
I want you on the
ready.
edge of your seat.
I'm here.
Okay. So, worked with his brother about 6 to 7 years, which I'm glad, like, later in life that they were able to, like, reconnect.
Yeah, they reconnected, yeah.
After that, he ends up going to work for a company named Raytheon in 1925.
What? Raytheon is still here today.
Mm-hmm. Largely because of him.
1925.
Largely because of him. I read in a couple sources that he was the 4th employee at this company.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My fiance tried to get a job there.
Yeah.
He tried. They need smart people. I'm just kidding. He's very smart. He's super smart. But they're just like, you're back
more smart.
We want like a master's degree, and you're like at a bachelor's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Ugh,
Yeah.
elitist, whatever.
Even though he has 9 years of intelligence and spirit and experience, but like whatever. I digress.
Whatever. So he ended up originally getting hired as an engineer to test and improve the efficiency of vacuum tubes. Now, if you're like me, I had no idea what a vacuum tube was, so had to do some digging. Do you know what a vacuum tube is?
Something that sucks something.
Nope.
Oh,
Not even close.
Okay.
I assumed it was a part on a vacuum. Not the correct answer. So, apparently a vacuum tube is an electronic component that controls the flow of electricity in a glass or metal container. And it's used mainly for high-end audio amplifiers. So, think about like amps for guitars, radios, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like a little glass tube that's just like in those kinds of devices.
Okay.
So he's working on that. He's doing a great job. Remember, he started 1925. 20 years later, 1941, we're in the middle of World War II, right?
Right.
So the military ends up contracting with Raytheon, and these contracts were mainly with the U.S. military and the British military. The British military actually asked them to manufacture a part for a compact radar named cavity magnetron, which sounds like a
Transformer.
It
does sound like a transformer.
That's the first thing I thought of. I immediately thought of Bumblebee. Anyway.
Yep.
this device would help the Allied powers tremendously throughout World War II. And this device was used for spotting submarines. They were used for navigating and bombing and even shooting down rockets. So, important.
Yeah. And they still, fun fact, they still are government contracted to this day. Heavily.
I mean, yeah. They did such a big job. Like, they were a huge part of why the Allied powers were successful in World War II. So, of course. So, this would lead Percy to conduct experiments.
Okay.
These experiments would lead him to a discovery that would change the world as we know it, as I mentioned before. What do you think at this moment? What do you think could he possibly discover with this magnetron
That I use today.
that I know you've used it today? I know it. I didn't see
I've used
you
it like actually today.
probably like 99% sure that you used it today.
What did I use today? I used a toothbrush, an electric toothbrush.
No.
I used my phone chargers. I've used computers at work. I've used computers.
No.
Oh,
I'm just
I've
like,
used
keep
a
going, keep going.
microwave. The microwave?
The
Are you
microwave?
serious?
I'm serious. Okay. So, in
Oh my gosh.
in 1945, he was standing near this magnetron that he was testing, and he noticed in his pocket a chocolate bar had fully melted. And I'm not talking about like melted like just with the heat of your hand, right? I'm talking about like melted, like gooey goop, no longer solid.
Interesting.
And he was like, that's interesting and weird. And I fully believe if this was anyone else, they would just like chalk it up to a fluke and just go on with their life. But because it was Percy Spencer, he was
The curious one.
the curious one. He was like, that's weird. Within the next day, weeks, he brings in a bag of popcorn, sets it next to the magnetron. And guess what happens? It pops.
It pops.
And he's
Pop,
like,
pop, pop,
interesting.
pop, pop, pop,
He's like,
pop.
okay, it's clearly cooking these things somehow. So then he's like,
Because it's not like hot. Is it really hot in there?
nah, I mean, it didn't say it, no.
Okay. Because like it would have to be like some kind of hot. Like to pop popcorn in there. So but like chocolate is like, oh, like the room's probably like 90 degrees or something, you know, like or popcorn it has to be hot in there. So
Right. And then he is like, I'm gonna try one more thing. He brings in raw eggs, right? And he sets it underneath the magnetron. Within minutes, maybe even just a minute, the egg explodes. Now, he wasn't expecting that to happen because when you cook an egg on the stove, it doesn't explode.
right.
And if you know anything about microwaves, what happens is it's sending a bunch of little waves of some kind, microwaves, if you will.
Pun intended.
And it's basically not, it doesn't really heat up. So it's making the water molecules react and they're rubbing against each other. The water reacting creates the heat. So that's what cooks it. So that's why the egg exploded. So, a little fun fact there.
Did not know that. I did not know that.
Yes, that's how microwaves work. So, at this point, he's like, this could be big. He's like, I don't know how this could be big, but this could be big. So he kind of sits on it for a little bit. Around the same time, he knows and understands the war's probably going to end soon, because we're in 1945. So at the end of 1945, the war actually ends. They're not there yet, but they're very close. And so he's like, the war's going to end soon. When the war ends, we are probably going to lose our contracts because they won't need us anymore. So what if we made these appliances? What if we did that instead? So he ends up taking this brilliant idea to his superiors. And if it had been anyone else, they would have turned him down. But because it was him, because he's been such a loyal employee, because he's been with them over 20 years at this point, and he's proven time and time and time again that he's a genius, they're like, well, we'll give it a chance. We'll see what you got.
I like that little move. I know it was an accident, but you're like, we'll see what you got.
I did that because I spit and it was on, and I was like, I gotta get rid of that.
But it was like the timing was impeccable. You're gonna watch that back and be like, she's smooth or whatever.
She's smooth or whatever. So, after some further testing, a patent was filed on October 8th, 1945. And this patent was on the process of microwave cooking. So it wasn't on a microwave itself. It was on the science behind it, almost. Which, like, I don't know if you could do that today, but I'm not a patent person, so I don't know. So what are you thinking at this point? How are you feeling?
I want to know more. Well, okay, so the main question I have, and I don't want this to sound insulting, but do you think he had a touch of the tism? I think he had a touch of the tism. He had to have had a touch of the tism.
I mean, it could be that, or he could have, like, some form of ADHD where, like, he hyper-focused on things.
That's true. That's really true, yeah.
Right. Because I also feel like a lot of the time, there are people in the world, your average everyday people, neurotypical people, don't see patterns the way someone who's on the spectrum or someone who has ADHD or who has autism or like, so having that type of brain could have helped him pick up on the pattern of something's weird that this chocolate melted in my pocket. Like nothing in this room should have been able to do that. Let me test some things.
Well, my questions arose because of what he liked to do in his free time.
Yeah.
That was majority it.
Yeah, he just loves
learning. I do like to read. I enjoy reading. Would I read something on calculus? Absolutely not.
Me either.
Sure
but
wouldn't.
Also, put yourself in his shoes. He was never awarded the opportunity to be able to go to school for those things.
Yeah.
He never had a chance to be able to study those things. And by the time he was an adult, it was kind of too late. So he just kind of jumped in head first and he proved himself time and time again. Whereas Damara did some weird stuff and never proved himself. So I don't know. I genuinely think that it could have just been because he didn't have that opportunity. He wanted it so bad, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, I'll do it myself. So, could be anything.
Makes sense.
I don't want to diagnose anybody here.
No, for sure. But I was just curious about it because that is a very unique and like a very unique mind. Like a very treasured type mind because there are not that many types of people out here.
Right. So, enter the microwave oven. And it was not as we know them today. The very first model was the Radar Range Model 1161, and it was released in 1947. Now, this thing was massive. It stood about 6 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
And it weighed about 750 pounds.
And this was sold for like retail?
It was sold for commercial use only.
Okay.
So think about restaurants, trains had them, ships, hotels, anything that had like a big kitchen where they needed to feed a lot of people. That was what this was marketed towards. And it had a water cooling system, which is what made it kind of so heavy. Guess what the price was back then?
Oh my gosh, anything's going to be better than what things are now. But go ahead.
It was $5,000 then.
How much is that now?
Approximately $67,000 to $77,000 today.
Wow.
Expensive.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But was it a tax write-off, though?
I don't know. I don't even know. I know nothing about the government back then, like how it functioned.
That's true. No,
they
that's
might not
true.
even had tax write-offs. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
But then 1954 rolls around and we get the Model 1170. It no longer had water cooling. It now had a forced air cooling system, meaning it just blew air in there to cool it down. This one weighed about 350 pounds. And it was meant to be a countertop microwave. It was priced at about $2,000 to $3,000, which in today's money would be about $25,000 to $37,000 today.
That's insane. That's insane. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. It's also still only marketed for commercial use. So restaurants, ships, trains, hotels. Then 1955, the next year, we get the Tappan RL1. This one is specifically designed for the home. It weighed approximately 300 pounds, and it was a built-in wall unit. Could you guess the cost of this one?
Built-in wall unit. Do I go up or down? Because you can go really low or really high.
It's going to go down because this is for home use, not commercial use.
800?
$1,295, which today would approximately be $16,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Still outside of America's budget, right? And also, I want to point out that this was not successful in the least. Not just because it was way too expensive, it was because there was a fear of invisible rays. Because they didn't know how they couldn't grasp, like the public.
Yeah.
Right. The public couldn't grasp how this was cooking food. So people assumed it was radiation, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Is this in the middle of the radiation scares and stuff?
This was way
all
after.
All the lawsuits and stuff? Oh, it was way after. So everybody should have, like, basic knowledge of, like, everything that happened.
Mm-hmm. The majority of people didn't understand that a microwave oven cooks from the inside out, whereas an oven would cook from the outside in. So you would get gray meats. You put chicken in a microwave, it's not going to come out crispy or charred. It's going to come out cooked.
Yeah,
but
it'll be cooked.
But not very appetizing looking, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
So would you, if you were in the 1% and you could afford this, would you have gotten one back then? This is 1967.
Honestly, not. I am not on the marketing side of things. I'm not like a demographic that one would be marketed to, because it's called a certain thing. I don't know if it's like another word for like innovators. I think it is innovators, like in marketing, where like it's a certain group of people where you know that they're going to try it. They're the first to try all the new things and stuff like that. There's people who are anxious like that. Me, I'm not.
This was marketed to stay-at-home moms.
So they could, like, get everything done faster and easier and less messy, I'm guessing.
Yep. Or even working moms. It was just
Mm.
marketed towards moms in general. Because you have children, you have a hungry husband,
There were a
you're
lot of
responsible for
stay-at-home
cooking.
moms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, no, that was 1955 when that was happening. So, the breakthrough ends up happening in 1967. The microwave oven, the Amada Radar Range, RR1. This was the first compact countertop microwave oven designed for home use. It only weighed 90 pounds, and the cost was $495, which would be about, or it would be exactly $4,968.25 today, which is still a lot, but a way more doable than
That's
the
like 2 vintage
16,000.
Louis Vuittons, though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And this is when it really starts to kick off. Microwaves become a common household appliance in the 70s, mainly for the wealthy. And then in the 80s, about 25% of American households had a microwave. In the late 1990s, about 90% of American households had a microwave oven.
Wow. Do you know the prices of like them in the 90s?
I didn't get the prices of them just because
Okay.
it started being
Just
like
curious.
mass produced. And
Right.
a huge part of that too was Japan kind of took the technology, ran with it, made it cheaper, made it better, made it more compact. And
I was about to say, because mine, yes, it is from overseas, but it was like $30. So,
yeah, so because it started becoming it became a product that was marketed worldwide, it became more easily to make, it was cheaper to make, so it became more affordable, which by the 90s, it was so much more affordable than it was in the 60s, in the 50s. Today, over 90% of American households have one. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like close to 99%. But that's just me, because I don't know one person who doesn't have a microwave unless their house was built before microwaves happened. And even then, people still buy microwaves, put them in. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than 90%. It does say over 90%, but if it was closer to 100%. And more than 50% of households worldwide have microwave ovens. And it's something I use every day. Literally every day.
I do. I use it at least twice a day to heat up my coffee because I take forever to drink my cup of coffee.
I knew you used it today. I knew it. I know you so well.
You do. That's why you're my bestie.
There's 2 microwaves in my office. Not my home office, my work office.
Oh, okay.
Well,
there's a microwave at my work too.
There's 2 in the break room. There's one that's actually by my desk for our little section because it's a big office. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think?
Crazy cool. I think that's funny that I did not think that happened on accident.
Fully accident. He was not searching for a way to heat food efficiently. He was trying to test these products that they were giving to the military, and then he was like, hold on a minute. That's cool.
What is this? How did this happen?
What is this?
Oh my gosh, just imagine if he was able to go to med school, what he would revolutionize.
I know. He probably I don't know. There's literally so much that he could have done.
I know he electricity engineering, that type is more of his forte.
Yeah,
just imagine
he was very drawn to
offered that education.
Mhm.
Like, if he didn't have to, like, drop out of school, you know?
Right.
Just imagine.
He would have probably made even more things.
He's already
He would've
changed the world, but,
Yeah.
like, that's
Mhm. I mean, he changed the world in
literally
multiple
every
ways.
household.
Like, it was his product that was saving the Allied forces, and he has changed our everyday lives. So,
Mhm. That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
It was mainly about the product that he made, and not, like, this episode was about the product he made, not about his life. But I did feel like it was important to understand where he came from, to understand how he was able to connect those dots. And, like, I think if he hadn't had that background that he did, he might not have appreciated and connected those dots,
Yeah.
you know? Because, like,
Yeah,
it
that's true.
genuinely seemed from my research that he loved what he did,
Mhm.
and he felt actual joy and happiness from
That's
this.
the vibes I got
Mm-hmm.
from what you were telling me. That's the
Yeah,
vibe for
and
sure.
you have to love it if you're gonna sit and read a calculus book for fun.
Facts, bro.
That sounds like
Facts, man,
torture to
facts.
me.
Literally. Like, I
Mhm.
can't even, like, I don't think that outside, like, I'm being so for real, like, outside of, like, maybe certain psychology books, like mental health books, you know, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, there's not much that I will, like, and history, because I really, really like history, but I would never pick up, like, a school source book voluntarily.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed that story. And I
I'm
do
so
love my
glad.
microwave.
And you use it
I
every day?
love my microwave.
I use mine every
If
day.
I
You
didn't
use
have
yours
the
every day?
microwave I had now, I would really want one of the beautiful ones by Drew Barrymore, because they're just so aesthetically pleasing.
Her stuff is actually really good. I have a couple of her things that I
Me too.
genuinely love and enjoy.
I have the crock pot thing.
I got
that you can also put in the
that too.
stove. Yeah, and then I have
Mhm.
her air fryer.
Yeah, I don't have the air
Mhm.
fryer. I have her toaster.
Oh, you have the toaster?
Mhm.
Is it good? Is it
Yeah.
great?
Yeah. I mean, I don't
I
really
want to get all of
toast
them
that
that match the
often.
same color.
See, she doesn't have the same color for all the things. Anyway,
Anyways, I digress. Drew Barrymore?
get on it. Like
Please.
she's ever gonna watch this.
Please, you never know.
I'm gonna
feeling
make this a
sassy.
reel.
I
so
need to
she
go to
gets-
bed.
I
I'm
think
tired.
I do too.
I need to go to bed.
Anyway, I hope you guys
Anyways.
have a beautiful day, a beautiful
Mhm.
evening, have a beautiful weekend, a beautiful week. Drink your water, and take care of yourself, as always.
Please.
Like, subscribe, comment, ring that notification bell, anything you want to do. Do it.
Preferably telling us how you're treating yourself this week, because
Mhm.
you matter. Your
Mhm.
happiness matters. Your
Mhm.
sanity matters.
Yes.
So let us know what you're doing for yourself this week. Take care of
Mhm.
yourself, seriously.
Treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Take a bath if you like baths. If you don't like baths, don't take baths.
But take a shower, maybe. Do whatever is super relaxing for you. The most relaxing thing that there is for you. Please try to find time for it, even if it's 5 minutes.
If you want to bed rot for like an hour, do it. Who's stopping you?
Not me.
I'm not stopping you. I'll do it all day long. Actually, no, I can't do it all day. I'll do it for an hour.
I'll do it for an hour too. Say less. Especially after finals are over. Like, whew. Also, those who are in college, the semester's almost over. Or
got
it's done
this.
for most of you. Enjoy your summer. You deserve it.
I think by the time this is out, it's going to be over for everybody.
Well, please enjoy your time off. Take
Yes.
advantage.
Or if you're crazy and you decide to be like me and do your semesters back to back to back to back, it's going to be over soon.
Find something to do nice for yourself. Find that 5 minutes. Find that 5 minutes.
I still can't believe I did that.
You're crazy.
I just don't like school. I hate school. I don't like sitting in a classroom. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just prefer to do things my own way. And
I gotta go my own way. Sorry.
What about us? Guys. Goodbye. Goodbye.
You went from like Snow White to the dwarf.
I can't wait to you.
You were calling the birds. And then you went grumpy. Just
goodbye. Okay, your turn. You have to do exactly what I did.
Oh gosh. Okay. 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 Good.
Okay, bye guys.